Coal is the biggest contributor to climate change.
In order to act on climate change, we must phase out coal.
I'm deeply concerned about the future for my children.
We have to act now.
The major parties have let me down.
It's the biggest global health threat.
This is the climate change election.
I'm voting for a future beyond coal.
I'm voting Green. They're not beholden to big business.
I'm voting for the Greens. They're putting people first.
They're the only party with a real plan to tackle climate change.
Authorised by C. Garner, Australian Greens, Canberra.
Now, this is a plan based on science, not on politics. At the moment, we're facing a climate crisis. We're seeing a breakdown in our climate. We're losing the reef. The Murray-Darling Basin's on the brink of collapse, unprecedented fires. We know that we need to transform our economy and transform it rapidly. And the good news with this shift is that it's good for the Australian community. 170,000 new jobs created in renewable energy. We have to plan for this though. We have to recognise that coal is the biggest contributor to climate change. And if we haven't got a plan to tackle coal, we don't have a climate plan. And neither party has a plan to tackle coal. In fact, the coalition want to build more coal-fired power stations. Labor's silent on it. They're not prepared to stop new coal-fired power stations or coal mines going ahead. So we need to actually deal with that issue, and that's what we're doing. We've got a plan that phases us out of coal into renewables, 170,000 new jobs, good for investment, good for the environment, good for the economy. What we should be putting forward, and all parties should be doing this, is how do we solve the climate crisis? How do we bring down energy prices? How do we ensure that we create jobs, not just for people within industries at the moment, but for their kids and their grandkids? This is a jobs-rich plan, 170,000 new jobs as a result of making this transformation, and a renewable energy export industry.
This is the only realistic plan on the table if you don't want your kids going to every summer holidays wondering how many people are going to die from the next heat wave or where the next bushfire is going to hit. This is the only realistic plan. The scientists have been ringing the bells for a very long time, and now they're at alarm status, right? And they're saying that 2030 is our deadline. The good thing is that we are now putting this plan on a table at a time when all the technology is available and the cost is coming down rapidly. So this is now the time to implement the plan. All that's missing, it's not a technological question or an economic question, it's now a question of political will.
Oh, it's disgraceful, and it's just so disrespectful to the many victims of the Port Arthur massacre. I mean, imagine being a family member listening to that. Look, it's an insight into the scary world that is the One Nation Party. And it's just a disgrace that Scott Morrison continues to refuse to put One Nation last. I mean, he should be sending a very strong message that these sorts of conspiracy theories, that a party that's focused on race, that a party full of climate deniers, that a party that wants to get donations from an overseas entity to weaken our gun laws has no place in Australia.